All right, let's take you to KwaZulu-Natal now, where KZN Premier-elect, that's Sihle Zikalala, is set to be inaugurated today. Around 200 people will attend that ceremony. The function is smaller than previous years in an effort to cut the costs. Zikalala is expected to announce the provincial cabinet shortly afterwards. And that's where we find my colleague Siphamandla Goge, who joins us live from the Premier's official residence. That's Parkside in Pietermaritzburg. Siphamandla, good morning to you. So, importantly, the announcement of the provincial cabinet, that surely will be watched with much more interest.
Absolutely, as the country continues to wait for President Cyril Ramaphosa to announce his cabinet in KwaZulu-Natal, we expect that it will be done today. Sihle Zikalala is to be inaugurated in an hour's time from now, and then after that it is widely expected that he will be announcing his team. Obviously, I think many people in KwaZulu-Natal are watching with keen interest, particularly on the portfolio of health, as we know that former health MEC Dr. Sibongiseni has moved to the National Assembly, and also when it comes to the issue of finance, MEC Belinda Scott is definitely not coming back. She's not on the list. Allow me to step out of this shot and ask my colleague Yebonga Mkize to show you basically guests have started arriving. I've seen the SACP Provincial Secretary that's in KwaZulu-Natal, Themba Mthembu, but I can't see him now. He has disappeared. Behind us is a former police minister, Bheki Cele. I hope we'll be able to get a shot of former minister Bheki Cele as my colleague Bonga is showing you that shot. Baba Ndosi, you are the former minister of police. Have you received a call from the president about a possible deployment?
Nobody has.
Please, if you can look at me and tell me that. Have you received a call from President Cyril Ramaphosa?
Nobody has.
Are you sure?
Very.
When are you expecting to receive
I'm
the call?
not expecting any call.
Why?
Because he has no business to phone me if he doesn't want to phone me. Usually we don't phone one another every day.
Let's talk about your address yesterday. Some people are questioning your address, saying you went to address the police. You are the former minister of police. Immediately when the president was sworn in, was inaugurated, you were not supposed to go and address them.
I should have been arrested if I was not supposed to go. I was addressing the police, they did not arrest me. But to be fair, I've worked with the police since the 8th, so I was saying to them, thank you very much.
Okay, Baba, thank you very much. That's former police minister Bheki Cele. There is among some of 200 delegates, or should I say guests that have been invited here. We think former President Jacob Zuma is coming shortly. I have not seen him. I've seen his presidential protection unit. Those who work closely with him are here. His spokesperson is here. I think former President Jacob Zuma will be attending this. It will be interesting to see that one because he did not go to Loftus Versfeld where President Cyril Ramaphosa was inaugurated. On Friday, he addressed the crowd, his supporters outside Pietermaritzburg High Court, and told them that he was busy consulting his lawyers. He didn't have time to prepare to go to Pretoria for that inauguration. He's trying to avoid jail. That's how we put it.
Siphamandla, very interesting indeed if the former President Jacob Zuma does turn up there. So has that been, or was that the official reason as to why the former President did not attend the inauguration on Saturday at Loftus?
Well, that's what he said. That's what he told his supporters. But also, I think, our viewers might be able to recall that before telling his supporters that he complained about President Cyril Ramaphosa's administration and how they reviewed the deal to pay for his legal fees. He told the crowd that actually when former President Mbeki was there, they had a deal that the state will pay for his legal bill up until the end of the case. But he said when the new president and administration came in, they decided to put that deal aside. So he seemed like an aggrieved person. But the reason that he officially told his supporters was that he was busy trying to avoid going to jail. He couldn't prepare to go to Pretoria because he was consulting his lawyers. He's a busy man pleading poverty, saying he doesn't have money to pay for legal bills. But here in KwaZulu-Natal, many people will be focusing on how Sihle Zikalala appoints his team, because remember, if I can ask my colleague Bonga Mkize to show you behind that house over there. That's where we expect that the former president will arrive and go into a holding room, as you see that the presidential protection unit is there. But in KwaZulu-Natal, many people will be paying attention to key portfolios, and one of them is the issue of agriculture and rural development. Remember that Sihle Zikalala has to please many people in KwaZulu-Natal when he appoints this cabinet, because this province, the ANC, remains fractured.
Siphamandla, before you and I conclude our conversation, one of the key elements about that province is that it is a political hot potato in as far as political killings are concerned. One of the people who was speculated for the longest time because of how higher up his name appeared on the list of the ANC in the province was Mluleki Ndobe. He's now in the legislature. What's his position there, and might it be possible still that he is included in the provincial cabinet?
Well, he will remain the Deputy Speaker for the duration of this term, because last week he was sworn in and then he was appointed Deputy Speaker of the provincial legislature. Remember, here Sihle Zikalala's hands are tied, because he has to appoint out of 10 MECs, 6 of those have to be women, because he is the premier, the male premier. Therefore, 60% of his cabinet has to be women. And also, there are other people to include, including the Deputy Secretary of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, Siphamandla Goge. He is expected to be a newcomer. The provincial spokesperson of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, Nomagugu Zulu, is expected to get a cabinet post. And also, on top of that, there is another issue with the alliance partner, the SACP. Their chairperson, James Numalo, is number 4 on the list. He qualifies to get a cabinet deployment. But their secretary, that is Themba Mthembu, is the former Minister of Agriculture in KwaZulu-Natal. So Sihle Zikalala is a difficult balancing act to do here.
All right, Siphamandla Goge, my colleague, coming to us live from Pietermaritzburg, and that ahead of the inauguration ceremony of Premier-elect Sihle Zikalala.